An overwhelming victory for Real Madrid over Alaves by 5-0. There are only 2 more matches left in the league before the Champions League Grand Final. Let's hear from Carlo Ancelotti.
Luis Garcia Plaza has talked about the teams that have marked a moment in the history of La Liga, mentioning La Quinta del Buitre, but he has said that your team is now superior to that, or at least prepared to start an era, besides winning some league titles in these years. Do you see your team prepared to mark an era in La Liga?
Yes, I think so. I see a lot of talent in this team, many young players with great quality. That's why I believe that this club has enough to make a mark in history in the near future, considering the value of the players we have at the moment.
Do you think Courtois is definitively back?
Courtois did very well tonight. Played very well, as did Militao, and every day that passes, they are even better. We trust that by the 1st of June, we'll be at our peak. The whole squad is good, committed, motivated, and we have a good team dynamic. There are still several days until that date, but for now, we will rest this week and prepare for the final in the following 2 weeks.
The team has players whose contracts end this season. We know about the future of some, but we don't know about others, especially one who is very important to this team. Do you have any knowledge of what Toni Kroos's decision will be? If you don't know yet, don't you think it's worrying that neither you nor the club know anything about his renewal?
The club is not worried, I'm not worried, and neither is Toni. I think the team has a very clear goal. And until after June 1st, this is a secondary issue. All those involved in this matter will talk about it eventually. But it's clear that right now we are all thinking only about one thing, and that is winning the Champions League.
A few days ago, we saw a photograph of you and your family at Valdebebas facilities, and we saw that your grandchildren were wearing shirts with Arda Guler's name. You have already told us that your favorite player is Vinicius, but were your grandchildren the ones who asked you to put Arda Guler on the field? What do they say now that Arda has scored 4 goals?
Obviously, we all have a lot of affection for the young ones. The whole squad, the entire coaching staff, and the entire club have a special affection for Arda Guler. He is the youngest and is growing a lot. As I have said before, he has a gift for football and is scoring goals. And even effortlessly, he scores goals because the ball is in love with Arda Guler. And this is very clear to me. We are very happy that he is with us and will continue with us for a long time in the future.
Is it possible that for next year, Jude Bellingham will play back in midfield, just like he did today, creating game and giving assists? Do you think he will play better in this position next season?
For some time now, I have asked him to help us defensively. And he and Vinicius support each other on the left flank. This is a role he prefers because he doesn't like to play higher up the field as much. He prefers to play more centrally, and he feels more comfortable there. And that's as simple as it just says it is. In fact, he has been playing in this position for some time now, and it has helped us defensively. Obviously, he has more defensive qualities compared to Vinicius or Rodrigo. It helps us a lot that when we have to defend, he positions himself on the wing to provide assistance to Mendy.
This has been another training match for the grand final at Wembley. Almost everything has gone perfectly. Courtois has been fantastic when the team needed him. The team haven't conceded a goal and have scored 5. Courtois has taken another step to be an option to play in the final. The only problem has been Carvajal. Can you tell us what his problem is?
No, nothing at all. Carvajal received a stomp, and that's it. This is the purpose of these matches, to maintain rhythm, get good dynamics on the field, and keep us motivated and play well. These matches also help some players improve their performance with minutes on the field. But now it's time for us to disconnect from everything for a few days, then play 2 matches and be ready for the final. I'm sure we will be at our peak level by then.
We always talk about the Ballon d'Or candidates, such as Bellingham, Vinicius, or Mbappe. But wouldn't you like Toni Kroos to win the Ballon d'Or?
Well, of course I would like that, but he won't win it. No, or maybe anything's possible. Let's remember that there are very important tournaments in the summer. And the German national team with Toni will have the opportunity to win the Euros. So now Toni has the chance to win 2 titles, the Euros and the Champions League. And if we also include the La Liga title, then why not? I believe he can compete to win this award.
This is Courtois' 3rd consecutive game as the team's goalkeeper. Have you talked to Lunin to explain the situation? Maybe to explain that Courtois needs to play to be an option to play in the final in London.
Yes, of course. No, but the situation's quite clear. As I have said before, I also have to give playing time to Lunin, and I will in one of the 2 remaining league games. So Lunin will play one of these, and Courtois will play the other. Among all of us, it is very clear.
Will Kepa play some minutes? The team has broken the record for the most consecutive games without conceding a goal in its history. How difficult has this been, considering Courtois' absence and having to alternate between Kepa and Lunin as goalkeepers for the team?
Yes, this is a very important statistic. This is a reward for a team that has done a great collective defensive work. As I have said before, we have managed to correct mistakes and do things better after losing the only game in the league. It has been a collective effort from the entire team. And a big part of this fantastic teamwork is in that aspect. If you can convince players who have more quality to defend when we don't have the ball, it is a very important achievement.
In addition to the record of consecutive games without conceding a goal, you have also equaled the record of 30 consecutive games unbeaten set by Leo Beehakker in 1989 for Real Madrid. You have reached 93 points. Your best number had been 92 points in 2015. Could this be the best league you have won?
Yes, I believe without a doubt that this has been my best season as a coach. The team has done a fantastic job in this league. We have won the league title deservedly and without a doubt. Everyone was waiting for our good streak in the league to be broken, but this never happened. Obviously, we are very happy about this. We feel on cloud 9, but we have to continue because the most important game we haven't played yet.
You have mentioned several times about the rest that your team needs. Will you also rest these 3 days, or do you plan to work to prepare for the Champions League final?
No, of course not. I also have to rest just like the players. I will definitely rest. The final is on the horizon. We have a little over 2 weeks for it. Next week we will be physically preparing for that match. And in the following week, we will reduce physical effort and focus on tactics. But it's important that we dedicate this week to rest.
Regarding Toni Kroos, you say you are not worried. But there is the possibility that Toni Kroos may decide to retire from football. And on the other hand, the club could also decide not to offer Luka Modric a renewal, perhaps because of his age or performance. This means that in July, you would no longer have Toni Kroos or Modric. Could Toni Kroos influence the club's decision to renew or not renew Luka Modric? Is there any relationship in all this?
I think these are completely independent situations from each other. As I have said before, those involved will talk about this and make a decision after the Champions League final.
After Vinicius's match we've seen, do you think Vinicius's mentality of focusing on his game, of insisting over and over again, makes him the best player in the world today? Besides being so good with the ball, don't you think he has evolved a lot mentally this season?
I add to that the goals he has scored. Now, he is able to score with just one touch of the ball, which was a limitation for him before. He is also doing a fantastic job of finding spaces. Today, he scored 2 goals with just one touch. He is in a fantastic moment in his career and sees the possibility of winning another Champions League very close. Honestly, he is doing very, very well. I believe it's not possible to do better than that.